Check out the video description for details. Thursday, September 7th, we've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about Take-Two Interactive, Apple, and Activision on the show today. So let's jump right in and let's go ahead and talk Take-Two Interactive with news today. LA Noire is going to be coming out for the Switch. They're going to be re-releasing it in HD, 4K, and some VR experience coming up here. I'll put a link to Nintendo Life. They talk about it. We had talked about there had been rumors of them making a remake of this, but they're specifically targeting Nintendo Switch with some touch control on it, motion controls to be able to use. You get the full DLC with it. Interesting thing along with that is VR, and then the obviously the 4K Xbox One support. LA Noire was a fantastic game and definitely one to pick up. Now, let's pull up some Take-Two Interactive stock. I have long said if Take-Two Interactive, let's blow this up one more here, full screen. If Take-Two Interactive had a dividend, I'd be buying a ton of it immediately. They're using their money to reinvest and continue to develop and build their company, which is fine. I like the dividend. I like to be safe on the investments. They're up pretty good today. Really like them embracing the Switch and the new forms of technology. We talked about Square Enix, Capcom as kind of those underdog ones to get a hold of. We own some Square Enix. But Take-Two is a fantastic stock. Get some balance sheet, $1.2 billion. So they got $1 billion extra cash versus the debt that they have, and $500 million free cash flow. So they could easily pay a dividend. They keep growing. They have some great franchises. Red Dead coming out is going to be another huge one. They're building these. They don't have as many new ones as Activision's churning out. They have their core ones. They remind me a lot of a younger Activision if you look at the comparison of the two. So good company to invest in, certainly long term. Again, we looked at Square Enix and Capcom as well as ones to play off of the popularity of the Nintendo Switch. But Take-Two is kind of coming out of nowhere. And really supporting that and other new developing systems, even more so than Activision. So big story, LA Noire, fantastic game coming out. Check it out. If you haven't, check out the old one. Look at some of the gameplay and imagine that in 4K. Should be pretty good. Bullish on Take-Two. We're not buying it because of no dividend. We may have to change that soon if they keep doing stuff like this. So moving on, a little mixed on this news from Apple. Apple is going to be, looks like they're hiring some TV execs. Let me pull this up to full screen. And they want they want to make their own content, and they're getting some old Sony execs and stuff like that. They got Planet of the Apps and Carpool Karaoke. Not a huge fan of this. One of the reasons why we don't like Sony stock particularly that much is because of their movie and film division and their original content and stuff like that they try and produce. It's really lacking where a lot of their other stuff is. When the rumors of Apple possibly buying Disney came out, a little mixed on that. Too big of a company, I feel, with those two merging together. A little softer stance if they're going to develop their own content. Maybe it'll help drive the Apple TV again. We've talked about in the past, Apple TV is a perfect backdoor into a gaming console. Amazon's doing it as well. Either one of them could get into the gaming console war and give Microsoft and Sony a run for their money, I think. Nintendo, they're kind of the safe bet. They're off to the side. But I think it could heat up here depending on which way they go. Original content, Apple's still a great stock to own. We'll let them develop whatever they want. They haven't gone wrong for a long time. Speaking of original content, Hearthstone, there was a short that was released kind of when we were on our little hiatus the past week as we were updating our system here. Really loved to see this this Hearthstone short. Really has me bullish again, even more so on Activision. Let me pull this up here. We don't need to see this ad. Don't want the ad. Pull it up full screen here. This is an article over at GameSpot, and you can see part of the short here. Very Pixar-esque. As they get better and better with their animation, and they have their movies and collectibles and things like that, Activision is certainly poised to grow into a Disney or someone. Really like this. Check out the short. We'll put a link in the video description here. As Activision grows as a company beyond gaming, they have such a great core of franchises to build off of, and that's one of the reasons why we like Disney. Star Wars, Marvel, all their Disney princesses, the old movie library, everything that they have. Activision is building that with the franchises they have, and they've got some of the best publishers in the world, or some of the best developers in the world under their umbrella, and we're talking Bungie and Blizzard. Bungie is fantastic. Blizzard has been fantastic as well. So they're right up there with Nintendo, in my opinion, as far as development goes, and they could grow into a nice Walt Disney type situation, I could see very easily. So bullish on Activision. So to recap for today, bullish on Take-Two, still bullish on Apple, even though I'm a little iffy on what they're doing with their news, and Activision continues to show us absolutely great company. So going to be looking at adding stocks to buy this month. Probably this month, just going to buy up some of the ones that are down, average them up a little bit, but certainly Take-Two and Activision really need to take a look at. So that's it for today's show. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already to get the latest investing news for gamers. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.